from Jen with Shiva Sagar. Today we are going to learn the lesson The Rattrap, written by Selma Lagerlöf. Now see about the author. Selma Lagerlöf, born on 1858 and died in 1940. Selma Ottilia Lovisa Lagerlöf is her full name. She is popularly known as Selma Lagerlöf, and she was the first woman to receive the Nobel Prize for Literature. She was a Swedish writer and a teacher. Her stories are translated into many languages worldwide. So today we are going to learn the story of the Rattrap and its summary. Now, what is this Rattrap? Actually, the Rattrap here is, the lesson is about the Rattrap seller. Okay? The Rattrap peddler is known by many names in the story. Here you see the first is Rattrap peddler. Peddler, he was the seller of rat traps. And then vagabond is a homeless person because he did not have his own house, so he is also referred to here as a vagabond. And then another is tramp. Tramp is a beggar. Then stranger. So these all are the names for the Rattrap peddler in the story. He was also mistaken as Nils Olof and Captain von Starle. Okay, because in the story you will find that he was mistakenly he was called as Nils Olof and Captain von Starle. Next you see, in a summary of the story is about a poor Rattrap sailor who was also a dishonest person by nature. So let's know the summary of the lesson in the next slides. This is a Rattrap, and you see the baits for the rat. Okay, these are the baits. These are just used for attracting the rat. Okay, to come inside, and as soon as the rat goes inside, the door of the rat trap is closed, and then it is trapped. Now you see the Rattrap sailor's life. He had poverty-stricken life. He was very poor. He always remained hungry. His cheeks were sunken and hunger gleamed in his eyes. So anyone can understand that he was a very poor man because he did not have, full meal also. And then clothes were in rags. He begged, also did petty thievery. He was a vagabond who plodded along with selling rat traps of wires. He took shelter in others' house, and then his rat traps were swinging from his neck because he kept hanging. His rat traps were hanging from his neck. The only positive quality he possessed was that he knew how to make rat traps from wire. Okay, but that too, he was not regular in his work. So you can understand, a man who was not regular in his work, he will always remain poor, isn't it? Next you see. So now our Rattrap peddler, whenever he walked throughout the areas, throughout the villages, his mind was not actually blank. He was always keeping on meditation. Okay, means like the meditating, the thinkings. Okay, some kind of thinkings that he had in his mind. And one day he had fallen into a line of thought. Okay, and what is the line of thought? See, he resembled his rat traps. Okay, that rat traps catches rats. Similarly, he resembled that the world is a rat trap. Okay, and the world is a rat trap which catches human beings. Understand? The rat trap uses baits to catch rats, Cheese rings, forks are used as baits to catch the rats. Similarly, the world rat trap uses baits like money, wealth, love, family, warmth, good foods as bait to catch the humans as its prey. Okay. So next you see, what was his opinion about himself? His opinion about himself was that no bait, no rat caught. Means since he did not possess any wealth, money, family, isn't it? Because he was a lonely person, he was a vagabond, he was such a kind of a man who did not have anything. He thought that he is not baited. Okay, he was not baited, and that's why he was free from the rat trap of the world. And this gave him unwanted pleasure. Okay, by thinking ill of others. Means he was thinking that all other people are baited, all other people are trapped in the world's rat trap except him. Okay, because he did not have all these things, so he was not baited or he was not trapped. Next you see the entry of the crofter. Means who was the crofter? The crofter actually was a farmer. So what happened? One day when he was moving around selling the rat traps, suddenly he noticed a grey cottage, and then he asked for shelter in the cottage. Understand? And generally people never liked him to give shelter, but here in the household of this crofter, he got warm reception. He was welcomed by the crofter, and he also was shared by the crofter his food, understand, and his tobacco and everything that the crofter could give him. And then what happened, you see, he was so happy to receive someone as a guest, because the crofter was a lonely person. So when he received his guest, he was very happy, and then he gave everything, and then he offered food, tobacco, and played Mjolnir. Now what is Mjolnir? Mjolnir is a game in Sweden. It is a card game. Okay, it's a card game played in Sweden, and then he also shared the secret of the household. So generally people do not share household secrets to others, isn't it? But here, because the crofter was so happy, so he shared everything, and he shared the household secret also. So what he did, you see, what did he do? He told the Rattrap peddler that he sold the creamery of his cow and earned his livelihood. Now, because the crofter was an old man, so he could not work in the farmer anymore. So he used to sell the creamery that he got from the milk of the cow. And then what happened? He also informed him that in the previous month, he earned 30 kroner by selling the milk products of the cow. Okay. So what happened? This Rattrap seller was already, he was not a very honest man. So when he heard about the money, he showed that he was not convinced. And when he showed that he was not convinced, then the crofter, he went near the window, and in the window frame there was a nail from where the leather pouch was hanging. He brought the leather pouch and he opened it and showed the 30 kroner inside the pouch. Understand? And then again he put it back. Okay. So this was how the Rattrap seller came to know about the money of the crofter. Next you see. Now see what is a bait. Bait is just like fishing, when you are given something and then the people are getting attracted to that and then they want to get it, and in the way they also are trapped. Okay, in the net of the person who is maybe a dishonest person who keeps on doing all these things. Understand? Now you see. Then what happened? The crofter was robbed. What happened? How he was robbed? The next morning, the crofter bid farewell to the Rattrap peddler. But after some time, the peddler came back and smashed the window. He put his hand inside, got hold of the pouch, and took away the money. He put the pouch back at its place and went away. Okay, so that is how the money of the crofter was gone. Next you see, after taking the money, what happened? After taking the money, there was a change in the Rattrap seller. You see, his direction was changed. His direction was changed. Means the regular way, the regular path, the highway. Till now he was walking on the highway. But now, what happened? The Rattrap peddler did not have the courage to continue his journey on the highway. He turned off the road towards the jungle. He lost his way. He felt that he was trapped in the jungle. The bait was the 30 kroner. Now he realized that he had also fallen into the trap. And what was the bait? The bait was the 30 kroner. So kroner and krona are the Swedish currency. Krona means singular and kroner is the plural. Now next you see, the peddler got a new direction. How he got the new direction, you see? The peddler felt very weak. It was a December night, just before the Christmas. He sank down on the ground in despair. Just then he heard a regular thumping. These thumping sounds were common in Sweden. See this? They were the hammer strokes from an iron mill. So he went towards that direction. He went inside the iron mill. There was a master blacksmith and an apprentice working near the forge, unaware of the arrival of the stranger into the forge. There were many sounds near the forge. The wind and the rain outside were making the noise too. Now you see that already you have got this, that thumping sounds like this are common in Sweden, because Sweden is a country of mines. Now in the mines these type of sounds were regularly heard. So for this man, when he heard this sound, he just understood that there is an iron mill nearby. So he walked towards that direction to get shelter for the night, because it was a very it was a December night, very cold. And you see, when he went inside the forge, there was a blacksmith and an apprentice working near the forge. And then you see, so things happen in the forge. So once he went near the forge, what happened, you see? He asked permission to sleep near the forge. The blacksmith and the apprentice did not consider him worthy for any verbal greetings or permission, because he was a man, he was just like a beggar. So the two men did not give any importance to him. Then the strangers slept near the forge. The owner of the mill or the iron master visited the mill. So that night, the owner of the iron mill visited. He was surprised to see the stranger sitting near the furnace. He went near the man and found that he was Nils Olof, his old regimental comrade. Now see, probably the iron master worked in the defense service. That's why armed forces. That's why he thought that this Nils Olof was his friend in the armed forces, and that's why he was thinking that probably this man is Nils Olof. The stranger did not say anything about himself. In fact, he was expecting to get some kroner from the iron master, from the rich iron master. Now see, when iron master arrived, so he understood that this is a rich man. He's a rich man. So he was already dishonest person. So he thought that he should not disclose his identity, because everybody knows who he is. But he did not say that he was not Nils Olof, because his intention was to get some kroner from the rich iron master. But the iron master did not give him any money, did not give him any kroner, but instead he asked him to go to the manor house to celebrate Christmas. The stranger did not agree. The iron master left. Next you see, so what happened in the forge continued. Daughter of the iron master visited the forge. The fear of the stranger compels her to assume that either he was a thief or a runaway prisoner. So now you see, when the ironmaster was not able to convince him to take him to his house, then he sent his daughter with an attendant and a fur coat. And then with the fur coat, she came and then she gave him the coat. And then after that, what happened? She understood by seeing the fear of the man that probably the man had already committed some, crime or something like that, because he was not a very simple person, simple man. Then she was gentle, kind and friendly to him. She treated him nicely. So even after knowing that the man was, undergoing some kind of, problem, means he already had done some crime or like that. So still the girl did not behave him with, any kind of, ill treatment. She just behaved him very friendly, in a friendly manner. And then now what happened? After that, the ironmaster's daughter took him to her house. But what happened? In the morning, the magic was gone. When the ironmaster's daughter took him to her house, to the manor house, in the morning, what happened? The stranger was given a suit of the ironmaster. The stranger was well groomed and dressed in a suit and starched collar. Now see the picture of the starched collar. Means like a gentleman he was dressed. He was already groomed, well groomed in the morning. Then what happened? The ironmaster looks at the well groomed stranger and realizes his mistake. So next morning when the ironmaster saw him, then he was not mistaken. He found that this man was not actually Niels Olof. He was displeased at the stranger and demands an explanation from the man. So he was angry and he asked him why you did it. Then you see the peddler defends himself, saying he never pretended to be someone else. So he said that no, I did not pretend that I was Niels Olof. But you can imagine that he also did not say his identity. Next you see the ironmaster calls him dishonest and threatens him to send him over to the sheriff. Now then ironmaster was angry and he said that he will hand him over to the police. Next you see the magic was gone, but what happened? The stranger quoted the metaphor of the world being a rat trap and predicted that the ironmaster should get trapped very soon. Now you see, when he said that, when the ironmaster told that he will hand him over to the sheriff, then he said that, one day you have baited me to come here and now you are putting me to the jail. That means one day you will also be trapped, like that. Then ironmaster, but at that time, ironmaster did not send him to the police or to the sheriff, but he said that the peddler should quit at once. But there was a twist. So what happened? Some kind of, alternative incident took place here. What happened? That the Edla, what did Edla Wilmanson think? Now the daughter of the ironmaster, what was she thinking? What she was thinking? Now you see, Edla was very happy to receive a guest for the Christmas fun and share of foods. Now she had prepared food for the tramp. She thought that her father should not turn away the man whom they had invited, promising the Christmas cheer. Now he said that she was very happy, and when her father wanted to drive away the man, then she said that he should not do that, because they had already promised him to share the Christmas cheer, Christmas food. So she advocated for the Rattrap peddler and prevented him from going away. She did not let him go. She was very happy to see the man eating. Now, because she was already very happy preparing food for a hungry man, and then when she was feeding the hungry man, she was feeling very happy. Next you see, now Christmas Eve at Ramshaw. So that night the stranger did nothing but sleep. At noon they woke him up so that he could have his share of the good Christmas fare. After that he slept again. In the evening they woke him up again. He stood for a while, but after that he disappeared again. Once more, disappeared again once more. He ate the Christmas fish and porridge in the dinner and said thank you and good night to everyone. Edla said that the dress he was wearing was a Christmas gift from her father. She invited her to the manor house for celebrating Christmas if he wanted in the future. So she also told him that if he wanted to celebrate Christmas in the coming years, then he was most welcome in their place. The next morning, the iron master and his daughter went to the early Christmas service. Their guest was still asleep. They did not disturb him. At the church, she came to know that a crofter was robbed by a man with dangling rat traps on his chest. So now you can imagine that she could identify who was this, man having dangling rat traps on his chest. The very guest of her, Christmas. She came home with a heavy heart. The peddler was gone, leaving a small Christmas gift for Edla. So when she came back, she did not again meet the peddler because he already left, and he had already left, and he already, he left a gift for Edla also. Edla opened the gift and shouted with joy. She was very happy to receive the gift. Now see the gift and the letter. So there was a letter also inside the gift. Inside the packet there was a rat trap and the 30 kroner which he had robbed from the crofter. There was a letter also. He addressed Edla as honored and noble miss. Now the letter is very important. Okay, this letter is the proof that the man had undergone a change. Okay, now see what he is writing. Since you have been so nice to me all day long, as if I was a captain, I want to be nice to you in return. Okay, so now you can imagine that he already understood that the girl behaved him properly, so he should also behave her in return. In return he should behave her properly, as if he was a real captain. Now you say, but you can give back the money to the old man on the roadside who has the money pouch hanging on the window frame as a bait for poor wanderers. The rat trap is a Christmas present from a rat who would have been caught in this waltz rat trap if he had not been raised to a captain, because in that way he got power to clear himself. Okay, so you can understand the voice within the letter. He says that because the girl had treated him like a real captain, so in this Christmas he wanted to behave like a captain. Okay, like a captain, like a real captain, as if he is a very educated man. Okay, man with good behavior, polished behavior, like that. And as a polished behaviored man, he was offering a gift to her. And then also he was saying that, and he was very happy. He was very happy that the girl had raised his standard to a captain, and that's why now as a captain he can clear himself. And he also returned the money taken from the crofter. Okay, and he requested her to give the money back to the crofter, and then he also writes his name as a Captain von Starley. Okay, so next you can imagine here that the man had changed his behavior. The man changed his nature. He is not a dishonest man anymore, because the returning of the money proves that. So the moral of the story from here we can get that blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. So people who people who forgive others for their mistakes will also be forgiven by God, isn't it? So here again, to err is human, to forgive is divine. And again, now like that, we can understand that sympathetic person receives the blessings of God, and people cannot imagine the incredible power of sympathy. Now the girl was fully sympathetic to the man, and that's why in return the girl had got the satisfaction that she had, she was able to change a dishonest man into an honest man. Thank you. This is the summary of the story.